Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the law of attraction, manifesting success stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello, and welcome to this episode. I am your host, Cassie Parks, and I am back with the Living Your Dream 2026 A group. And we are just continuing our discussion about what's happened over the last couple months. It is August 23rd, 2021, and I'm just going to jump in. Luisa, what is the best manifestation that you've had over the last couple months?
The best manifestation I've had over the last couple of months has been taking time to travel, less work, and enjoying life.
Amazing. Kate, how about you? What is the best manifestation you had over the last couple months?
Well, mine's still coming, which is exciting. We were just going to do a patch-up job in our bathroom with some tiles, and we found out we've got asbestos. So that's not a bad thing. It means we're going to gut the bathroom. So I'm so excited. I get the bathroom I always wanted. And it might just spill into another room or two. Oh, what a shame. Oh, I'll take it. Bring it on. So yeah, I'm really excited. I get to have what I've wanted for years, and my husband's actually really comfortable about it, and he's excited to be a part of it too, which is great. And it's not a tractor. How good's that? Because everything's usually farming machinery. So he's the one who said, look, let's do this. So he's starting to change with me, which is really awesome, and look at things differently.
Yay, that is awesome. I love it. Tierra, how about you? What's your best manifestation over the last couple months?
I would have to say an all-expense paid trip to Miami, which was originally on my Manifest 10K list. But then I was like, it's too far-fetched. And I changed it to a closer location. I changed it to Savannah. And then when we were going through and you were talking about what you really want and crossing some things off the list and changing some things around, I put Miami back on there. And sure enough, all expenses paid. The trip to Miami last month. So that was pretty cool.
Yay, that's amazing. And what's your biggest learning from going for that thing that feels so far out?
Just trust the process. Trust the freaking process, and don't try to keep it small. Like, let the universe do its thing. Trust the process. Look at the evidence and just trust that it's happening.
Yes, that's awesome. I love it. Chona, what's the best manifestation that you've had over the past couple months?
The coolest one, I think it happened right after our last interview, actually, was when I realized that I could go back to the first iteration of my Manifest 10K list and look at the list and see all of the things that I actually manifested, because we had gone back and forth on that list a couple times before I felt like I got it right. And I looked on there and I was like, oh my gosh, I've manifested like 7 things on that list already. And that was really awesome.
That is awesome. And what is the lesson that you learned or that you're taking away from, even though it wasn't like official, but it showed up? What's lesson, or how are you taking that to grow further?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what Tierra said. It's trust the process. And also what Leslie said in our earlier interview, like it's not linear, right? Like it's here already. So when I was like, can I go back and look at my list? You're like, absolutely. And it was just a big aha, because I was like, oh my gosh, all of those things are here already. And it's like, trust the process. It's not linear. And also, I think to be more present as well and like recognize it, because it took me like taking a step back and thinking about it instead of, I don't know, I guess being more present with the evidence and the manifesting too. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think that's such a great thing that you mentioned for listeners too. It's like so often everybody is so in the wanting that they forget to be in the present and notice what's all happening. Right. And all of these things that you had wanted, but didn't make this the final list when we go through it, we're all here. And you just had to become more present to see them.
Right. Yeah. And how they've all showed up throughout this journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Leslie, how about you? What's the best manifestation for you over the past couple months?
Well, of course, I could limit myself to just one, but one that was just so much fun. A friend of mine commissioned me to create 2 short animation pieces based on some artwork by 2 other artists, and she included that in a dance festival that she was producing. And her concept was to kind of really get people outside and get them like interacting in public. And so these were exhibited as like a public art piece. You walk up to this artwork on a wall and you hold up your phone and you can see the animation that I made playing in your phone. It was an augmented reality thing. And so it was so fun to just work on the animations, but then actually like getting out of town, like I haven't traveled in forever, like everyone else. So, having a chance to go be part of the festival and kind of be on the ground in person and meeting everyone who I had worked with remotely, and like it was kind of like a crazy party weekend, and I just got to just kind of flow along with the whole scene. And it was just like some of the most fun stuff I've done in like forever. So it was just like a small manifestation, but big outcomes that I really loved. And the other, like the best, most amazing manifestation is that my dad gave me $12,000, and I was able to use that. Someone who I've been in touch with recommended a contact to me, and they're offering a program that helps families reunite if a parent has been alienated from a child. And so I was able to I made the decision to go ahead and because I had this money, I could go ahead and do this program. And I've started to work with them, and I'm just super stoked. It's going to be amazing. And I'm getting back with my kid.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that one. And while we're just to go back to the animation a little bit, how did you have to grow through that experience?
Well, the whole thing was so collaborative. Usually I'm kind of just all on my own for stuff like this. And so I just loved collaborating. It was just the best. And these 2 artists, like I mean, even though I kind of felt like I was servicing them in a way, but the animation that I made was something that they would have never imagined. And I was able to just kind of inject it with, my own personal touch. And that's also content that I'm going to use directly when I teach my class in the fall. Like I know that I can share it with the students in a really interesting way. But I think also just going to the festival, and like, it was like a wild party and there was no knowing what was going to happen when, right? And so it was like, okay, one day, like I'm carrying a ladder and we're hanging things up, and then the next minute I'm having dinner with someone, and then I'm at a silent disco, and it was just like, and then we swam in the ocean, and I was like, okay, what's next? And like, oh, now we're gonna go shopping. It was just amazing. It was just so fun to just like not have any plans and just kind of like, just let go and do whatever was happening in the moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Chona, what's the biggest way that you've grown, changed, shifted in the past few months?
Wow. I would say I'm becoming more comfortable saying no and being very comfortable in saying no, and setting boundaries, because old story is that I'm a people pleaser and putting myself, I guess, my wants and needs on the back burner to make sure everybody else is happy. And really, I would say, yeah, just kind of challenging that old story and stepping into something different. I haven't done the future self workshops yet, but I feel like because I don't want to say I'm uncomfortable, but because it's new, I think I describe myself as like a fawn learning to walk. I'm a little wobbly. That it's, yeah, I feel the change. And because it's like, I want to fall back into old patterns. I'm like making that conscious decision. Nope. Like stick with this, stay in this feeling. Don't try to fix, don't try to wrangle the feelings. Just sit with it and let the feelings flow, and I'm going to be okay.
Yes, you are. I love the baby fawn example. And so what has been for you just a key, or what have you gone to as you continue to choose this new way?
So I mentioned it in the questionnaire that I can't remember who said it, and you might have to help me maybe retell the story, but we were talking about, I guess, the wrangling of feelings, right? And she said, which was, I remember sending her a message, I was like, that was so profound, but it was like, I have it, the perception of a problem versus what's next, right? Like, so I realized when we were coaching her through that, and we were talking about like our perceptions of situations or perception of a problem versus like just taking the next step, I realized just how much I assign feelings or emotions or old stories to situations, right? Like it could just be a situation that had like there is no emotion attached to it. It's just because of past experiences or maybe the old story that I'm telling, I blow it up to be something more than it actually is. And so then I focus old stories that I would focus more on like maybe the negative feelings or trying to fix it or trying to wrangle my feelings around something versus just, okay, what's next, right? Maybe that was to not do anything. Maybe that's to take a walk or sit and feel my feelings instead of going down that kind of rabbit hole of, well, this is what this meant. And, 5 years ago, this is what happened. And I felt this way, instead of it just being like, well, that's my perception of what happened versus I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to try to fix it. Just sit here and be more present. So kind of butchered that, but that's been something I think that I goes through my head every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I love that lesson. I loved that coaching and not wrangling your feelings as well, because it's, we try to get them one way or not get them to feel. And really it's just feel them if they're there. And if they're not, don't, but don't try to like force them to be something else or change them, like just feel them. Awesome. Tierra, how about you? What's something that you've grown or shifted through in the last couple months?
I would say going back to the point you just made about, and that Chona just made about feeling the feelings and looking at the perception of the current state of being. So on the calls, you always are talking about not staying in that old story. And so I've really been committed to consistency of going back. Like if I feel stuck, just going back to do an assignment. So if I'm like I'm feeling away right now, I'll say, okay, did you do your assignment today? Nope, let me see. Or going to my abundance activator list or looking for evidence. So just trying to like do those things to get out of my own way and get out of my own head. So that's been exciting because it allows me to like get excited about something else about this journey. So that's been really, really huge.
That's awesome. Kate, what have you grown through in the past few months?
It's around the kids and holidays, because usually I would, when you I felt everything was flowing, moving, and I'd get to that week 9 or something in the school term and go, oh God, holidays are coming, damn, and everything is going to stop. I can't work because the kids are full on, and it's really this last holidays it didn't happen, and I was prepared. I'd batched content, and I just was ready for it, because we have 3 weeks in the middle of the year instead of 2, and it was just a really weird. It was different, and it was all the work that we've been doing. The shift was that I'm doing the work, everything's okay, and it's a bit like Louisa taking the week off. Sometimes to move forward, you have to stop and just be and enjoy what's around you. And so that was really good. And then we went into lockdown we've actually had cases in our town for the first time, and we've gone into lockdown, and the same thing happened. I was like, no, this is good. I'm doing the work, everything's flowing, and it's okay that, I'm not going to be at the desk for 7 hours in the day. And I think that's just been really, it's unique, and I'm loving the feeling of that flow, and the kids it's flowing onto them, and they're doing their schoolwork easily, and then we get to play for half a day. So how good's that? I didn't normally get to play when I worked, because I've got to be at the desk. I can't do anything else. And now it's like, oh, it'll work. It'll happen. And yeah, it's all, you see how everything else grows around you. And that's what I've been enjoying too, is just going, oh, okay. Oh, that happened. Oh, I wouldn't have expected that. So yeah, I haven't looked at my 10,000 list, but I know that things are coming to fruition, because I'm slowing down to fasten up.
Yay, that's awesome. Yeah. Such a great lesson. Luisa, what's the biggest lesson or growth or shift that you've had in the past few months?
In the beginning, I used to love putting money in envelopes. I loved seeing envelopes and envelopes and envelopes of money. So every month, I would put away 10% of my income, and I'd love to see those envelopes grow. Ever since my Future Self workshop, that changed within 3 weeks to a month. Those envelopes, I like them, but they didn't satisfy me there. So it was an automatic shift where now I want to enjoy what's in those envelopes. So we put in a new garden. We just asphalted our driveway. I'm enjoying those envelopes. I'm learning that I don't have to hide them. I don't have to hoard them. They don't have to be there. More will come. So I'm listening to my future self. I'm slowing down. I'm allowing her to guide me, and I'm enjoying those envelopes.
Yay, that's awesome. Yes. So fabulous. Tierra, I know that's some coaching that had really clicked for you, or that I say all the time, but is really stop living your old story. Will you tell us a little bit more about that and how you've grown and from that and keep learning that?
Yes, I would say, my old story was one that believed in being a powerful co-creator and manifester, but only when things were coming. Right. So only when I could see those things in the physical. And then at other times, it was almost like I forgot everything that I learned, everything that I knew to do. And so, number one, with you saying, forget all the other things that you would normally do and just focus on this journey here in this group. That was something that was really profound for me. And also just not allowing, and I think it was Kate that mentioned the limiting beliefs, like not allowing them to really sit, just feel them and understand, why are these showing up? And then going back to, for me, again, that abundance activator list or something to that effect, so that I cannot allow it to kind of be a dark cloud over me, focusing on what hasn't shown up yet versus what has. So that was really, really big.
That's awesome. I love that. Kate, what's some coaching that has really clicked for you over the past couple months?
There's been a couple of discussions on the calls regarding husbands and other halves, and just allowing them to be themselves. And I really, really clicked with that because, I thought I was doing that, but then I realized, my thinking wasn't doing that. I wish he would do this, or I wish we could do that. And then it was like, oh my God, I have that energy, that needing was really, of course, damaging. So over the last couple of months, I've been very conscious of allowing him to just be himself and celebrating that with him. And he, as I was saying with the bathroom, his outlook has changed. And it's just been, he's more playful. He's the man that I met. And, he's got a wicked sense of humor. And, yeah, it is fun. And he's having more fun with the kids. So his work is always a priority, but he's actually allowing himself more family time too. Because I let him be himself. And it's also then look in the mirror, allow you to be yourself. And that's been huge. And I think I like it because it's been a few calls. I've been going back and listening to them. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm hearing you, Cassie.
Yay, that's amazing. I think through the course of the last two interviews, we have touched on everyone's coaching that clicked. But if there is anything on anyone's heart or mind that they want to make sure to share in this interview, just want to open up to that. If there's anything else anyone wants to share that we missed in all of the goodness. Chona?
It's along the same lines of Kate, what she was just talking about, like allowing other people to be themselves. I would say I've flipped the mirror on myself and really started looking at myself as far as who am I when I'm not trying to fix everything, or when I'm not trying to be everything to everyone, or the people pleaser. And a really simple example, like my mom over the weekend was locked out of the house, and I was out and about with friends, and she sent a group text message to everybody. And my immediate instinct was to like call, run home, fix the situation, make sure she was okay. But I was like, nope, I'm out. I have plans. This is what I want to do. She will be fine. Somebody, my dad will open the door for her, or she'll get in the house. It's going to be fine. It's not going to be a disaster. And so, like, to me, that was such a huge growth because, like I said, my gut reaction was to just go and fix the situation, help her. But I was like, no, like you're doing what you want to do and stepping into who you are. And just because maybe you're not there to help your mom and dad doesn't mean that you're any less than, or, you're still a lovable daughter, right? Or you're still a good person. Like, just because you're maybe not there to help in every situation, even though I guess old me would have wanted to be there, that I was like, nope, you have these plans, stick to it, stay like, honor your plans, honor what you want to do today. So, anyway, that was something I definitely wanted to share.
That's amazing. I love that. And I know going to be inspiration for those listening, because that is such a big thing as we grow into our future selves and really take responsibility for our happiness and creating our lives, right? Very cool. Anyone else have anything on their heart or their mind? Leslie?
I just feel like I'm learning to recognize what inspired action feels like, and allowing myself to just follow that inspiration. And that's just been great. Like now it's like, oh yeah, I'm like, I can see this is happening because I'm feeling so inspired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay. Amazing. Anyone else as we close up today? Covered a lot of amazing stuff. Thank you all for sharing these amazing moments in your life and your growth with us and this journey towards becoming your future self. I appreciate it. I know all those that are listening appreciate it. So thank you. And thank you all for listening. Make sure to come back and check out what else is awesome in these ladies' life next time.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction, Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to identify your current money story, go to identifyyourmoneystory.com.